Hello and welcome everyone to Salesforce Women in Tech. We are back with the last part of Salesforce Lighting Flows workshop, which is part 5. About me, my name is Khyati Mehta. I'm the group leader of Salesforce WIT Group Kolkata. I'm a proud Salesforce marketing champion. I was recently featured on Salesforce blog for my outreach work. Professionally, I work as a Salesforce developer at Cognizant. I'm a community speaker, a trailhead mentor. I also run my blog named as All About Salesforce and a podcast in India named Salesforce Offbits with Khyati. And I've also led in India. We are running tests. One of them is just reading your heart out. Maybe you can also post over. You can post anything that you like, your likes, your dislikes, your key takeaway, be it anything. Just don't forget to tag the group WIT Kolkata Salesforce admins, myself Khatu07, and the Digital Bharadwaj, and also use hashtags WIT Kolkata and WIT Flows. And a winner will be chosen at the end of the day. So the agenda of the workshop is it was divided into 5-day workshop that includes topics about flows with detailed demos wherever applicable. Now we all know that we have n number of materials available when it comes to flows, but what makes this workshop different is we have covered all the topics one by one with 90% of the demo. We have kept 2 days specifically for the demos, so that way you will have a good hands-on on the topic. We have the gurus of flows to cover the exercises. So we have none other than Shubham Bhardwaj with us. I am sure everyone must be knowing him. He's working as a Salesforce developer of Salesforce gigs. He's also 3x Salesforce certified. Over to you, Shubham.
Okay, thank you so much, Kathy, for introducing me. So I'm not going to waste time introducing myself. So this I'm just let you. I just want to let you know that I have a Twitter handle with Digital Bharadwaj, and you can connect with me over there. And I also run a YouTube channel name with the name Salesforce Geek. So let me share my screen. I guess I forgot to share. So can you see my screen? So yeah, so this is the YouTube channel which I ran from back 2019, and I post videos regarding Salesforce flows, mock interviews, and a lot of other stuff related to Salesforce. And this is my Twitter handle. You can connect over there. And this is my website where you can run like very uh, Apex related material or Lightning related content. And that's it. And let's start with the today's session. I believe in like demos only. I did not create any presentation and all. So I'm just going to start with a demo. And the scenario which I'm going to let you know that, for example, there are various colleges, and those colleges are related with various universities. And during the time of placement, various university require resume of their candidates or their students. So in this first demo, we are going to create a screen flow where you can simply submit your information along with the resume. And basically the motive of this session is to uh, let you know the various functionalities of screen flows or flows which you can use in your different scenarios. So the main part is like conditional functionalities which I created over there. And let me give you a glimpse of what kind of flow we are going to build today. So let me navigate to the flow. So this is the flow which we're going to create, a student resume form. So I already created it, but I'm going to create this flow from scratch, right? So just want to let you know that that's the flow which we are going to create. So this is kind of the flow. We are going to enhance this flow in the demo, where we are going to add some images and a lot of other things. For example, let's say if you want to display a image over there, if you want to display a conditional visibility, for example, there is a checkbox, and if you want to click on that checkbox and want some more field to be displayed when the checkbox is true. So these kind of functionalities we are going to cover. So let's start building a new flow for that. So simply we are going to create a new flow, and it's a screen flow. So let's create it. So as you can see right now on the screen, first of all, we are going to use a screen element. And on the screen element, first the thing required, we require like first name, last name. So for that, we are going to use the name component and simply drag and drop over the screen. And you can provide the API name. So let's say name right now. And here you can see field to display. So there are like first name and last name. If you remove the last name from there, you can see your component remove automatically the two fields over there, right? So let me add the last name, because last name is also required when someone filling the form. And here you can see if you want to provide any default value, let's say Shubham, and so you can see this is the default value which came automatically, but we are not going to do this. So like it depends on the scenarios which you are working on. If you want to provide some values, you can. If you don't want to provide, that is also okay. So the thing is, here you can see there are different conditions. Like if you want to make it make this column, or you can say make this component to read only, then sorry, yeah, if you want to make it read only, then you can't edit this component. So these are various settings or customization which you can do with your name component. Simply type it false, so global constant false. And yeah, so this is the first component which we are going to use in our flow. The second component which we are going to use is email. So let's drag and drop an email over there, type the API name as email. And if you want to make it disable, so you can simply type true over there. If you want to provide any placeholder like this, Shubham Bharadwaj@gmail.com. So here you can see the placeholder is automatically appear over the field. So that's kind of customization you can do with your screen component. So right now I'm not going to provide any placeholder. So it will take you@example.com, which is the by default over there. So if you want to make the email field required, you can simply mark it true, and you need to select global constant true. So this is the flow by default constants which you can use in your flow to assign the value true, either false. So here we go. And in the value field, basically you get the value, whatever the user enter the value in those fields, or you get with the attribute value. So we are done with the two components. Now I am going to add one more component which is called lookup screen component. So let's look up, and this is a very crucial component where people find difficulty to understand it. I'm going to simplify this lookup component, because in the functionality you can see when you hover over the I element, like in field API name, so what field you need to add, or what is the object you need to select. So here is a quick hack for this. Source object is always a child object, right? So for example, there is account and there is contact. So anytime you need to select the field which is on contact, because contact is a child contact. Sorry, contact is a child object. So you need to select the fields of contact, right? For example, I am going to store these record values in a contact object, and contact is a child of account. So what I am going to do is provide the field API name of my uh, contact lookup field. For example, there is a lookup field which is account over contact object, and the API name of that field is account ID. So you can also check that in object manager. For example, if you are dealing with custom objects, so you can simply copy the field from the object manager and paste it over there. If you want to provide the label, let's say I'm going to provide the label name as university. because I am dealing with account. I treat account as universities and contact as like various colleges or various colleges student records. So in object API name, what you need to do is, what is again, you need to hover this I button and you can see the API name of the source object. Now again, I told you already that source object is a child object. So you need to provide the API name of the child object, which is contact. So that's it with our lookup component. So this is a quick hack where you can simply apply to the lookup component and you don't have any difficulty to use the concept of lookup component into your different scenarios. And here you can see record IDs and required. If you want to make this field required, you can simply type global constant true. And if you and record ID basically hold the value. For example, here I select any account, so the value of the account will be appear in the record ID attribute. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use address component. So again, address is also a component in Salesforce ScreenFlow, and you can also provide the API name, let's say home address. In city value, you can provide the different kind of values. Sorry, in not in city values, I am talking about in country options. Like whenever the label you find options, so that means you can provide your own values over there. Let's say I am going to provide some specific countries where student can submit, fill their form. Let's say India, comma separated USA, then let's say China, where, so these are the three countries which I am going to allow to enter into the country options. So when I click outside of the country option, you can see my address country field automatically converted into a pick list where you can select India, USA, and China, right? Country value store the value from these three countries, and you can change the label, let's say home address, and postal code value again hold the value of the postal code. Search option, if you state, if you want to provide different state, again let's say Uttar Pradesh, Mumbai, or Maharashtra, sorry. So you can see again stage is also converted into a pick list value where you can select between these two values. So I'm not going to provide because I already done that concept into the country option. Now what I'm going to do is, that's it. I'm not going to do anything with this address component. Now let me uh, add one more condition over there. Let's say slider, the concept of slider. So let's say there is a field where you want a student to rate himself or herself. So let's say provide API name, rate yourself. Now, one thing I want to let you know that when you provide the API name and if you click somewhere else, you can see this value can only contain underscore and alphanumeric characters. So that means you cannot give space between the API name. So you need to simply either provide underscore or you can remove the space. So then you can simply resolve this error. And in the label, let's say you can provide rate yourself. Okay, so you can provide a range like between how many numbers you want to allow the student to rate themselves. I'm going to provide from 0 to 10. This is the range, and starting from 0. So I'm not going to provide 0. Let's say 1. Now you can also enhance the size of the slider. For example, if you want to provide any size, so you can simply over this I button and you can see various values which you can assign. So right now it is okay with the slider, and if you want to provide any size, you can simply provide, let's say large. So you can see this is the large, and by default is bigger. So I am going to choose by default one. So this is the one, And step size means, for example, when you're changing the value, let's say I select 2 over there. So the rating should be like, you can assign the rating to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like this. So I'm going to assign like 0 to, sorry, step size is 1. So this is the concept of slider. And let's say I am done with my flow, sorry, screen component. Okay, so we have an error where we need to provide the API name to our lookup component. So let's say university, and that's it. Let's simply make done. So we have more errors. Okay, I did not provide the name to the screen. Let's provide the screen one and simply click done. Now the screen is almost ready, but we are going to enhance our screen later. But right now I am building the flow like when a developer or when a admin is going to create a flow, how he or she should create. Okay, so I'm simply going to save my flow. Let's say student resume submission form and save this form. Now let me debug my flow. I want to I want to try like how my flow looks and the functionality. So simply click run. And here you can see the screen. Okay, first name, last name, email, university name, home address, and simply the rating field which you can provide, right? So okay, our flow is looking a little bit good. So but we are going to enhance it later. So I'm back with my flow, and now what I'm going to do is create a contact. When I enter values, I am going to create a contact, right? So I'm going to use create record element. So let's say create student resume record. And yes, we are going to create only one student resume record. And in the record, what you want to do is I want to use separate resources, because I have not all the fields which I am using for my content, but I have several fields which I want to use. So in object, you need to use contact, and here you need to map the fields. For example, we have first name. Let's add last name, and simply we have email field, we have account, which is we are treating as university. Then we have address. So for address, we need to use mailing city or country. Sorry, we need to select mailing country, mailing postal code, mailing street, and what is left? State. Mailing state. And there is one more thing, which is slider. So what I want to do is I want to update the description of the contact with the value of slider. So in the description, I am going to map the slider rating. So in the first name, now you know that we use a screen component that with the whose API name is name. So we are going to use name dot first name. Similarly for name dot last name. And now in the email, we use email screen component, and in the email screen component, we are going to use the value of the screen component. So simply like this, email dot value. For the account ID, similarly, we are going to do this. So university dot record ID. Now in the field mailing city, you need to map with what is the component name, I guess, is home address dot city, and you can see city value over there automatically. Similarly for country, and let's say country, for postal code, similarly for street, and similarly for state. Now in the description you can see we have a rating component, right? So but I'm not going to do it like normally. I'm going to enter the rating. I'm going to enhance my flow. So I'm going to use a text template. Let's say rating of the student, and I'm going to make it dynamic. So I am going to type a message. Let's say if I enter Shubham Bharadwaj in the name and first name and last name. So like Shubham Bharadwaj rating is whatever the rating I given to myself, right? So it's like insert a resource, and I'm going to use name screen component and type first name, give some space, and then let's say name, last name, rating. Rating is, now I'm going to provide the value of the rating. So let's say the screen component which we use over the screen, and we are going to type value, because value store the user input. So sorry. Now simply click on done, and now you can see rating of the student is mapped with the description field. So simply click done. Now what we want is we want the resume of the student, and I'm also going to let you know that why I use create record element in between the two screens, because you can say, Subham, why don't you use the resume to upload file, for example upload file component on the first screen? So I'm going to answer that question. For example, let me drag and drop on another screen or use another screen over there. Let's say type the label of the screen upload resume, and in the screen I'm going to simply drag and drop upload screen component, which is file upload. Simply drag and drop a file upload component over there. Let's say provide the API name to upload resume, and file upload label, let's say upload resume. Now you can provide different type of formats. Let's say you have a photo, JPG or PDF, so you can restrict uh, a lot of kind of stuff. For example, you want to only want to accept PDFs. Type is PDF. That's it. So right now I am allowing all the formats to getting upload. And if you want to provide multiple files, like you want to upload more than one file, so simply need to type here true, and simply global constant true. Again, your content document IDs, these are the backend. You can always get the values when you assign something into the upload resume component. You can get the values automatically. Now here you can say related record ID. From for which contact, for which record you want to relate these file, you need to provide the related record ID over the resource. So but here is a thing, we did not have the contact record which we just used in our previous screen to create, right? So what we need to do is simply click done right now, and we need to go back to our create record element and go to this manually assign variable to get the ID of the newly created record. So here you need to source variable, let's say contact ID, and data type as text. So this contact ID will store the value of the newly created record. Simply click done, and you can see variable contact ID is automatically over there, and click done again. Now in the upload resume screen, you need to simply provide the related record ID as contact ID. Now our resume automatically relate to the contact which is just created. Now the reason why we use this upload resume in the second screen, because we require the record ID from which we need to relate. If I use the upload resume screen onto the first screen, I did not get the record ID. I hope this makes sense. If not, we can discuss this later after the demo. So this is the only reason we are using upload resume on the next screen. So that's it, and simply click done. So let's save our flow and test it, like whether it is working or not. So simply click on debug. So I'm going to click on run, and now I'm going to provide the details. Because we used our create record element, we use the upload resume component over there. So I'm going to test my flow. Let's say I'm going to provide value to Shubham, last name as Bharadwaj. I'm going to provide my email ID. Let's say Salesforce Geek 2019 @gmail.com, and university name as like you want to provide account. So as I already told you, I am treating account as universities, and you can see various record which is already created. Trailer, AKTU, IIT, Salesforce. So right now I'm going to use AKTU because my university is also AKTU. So that's why. Now in the home address, you can see there is a pick list, and these are the only values which I provided into this screen component, right? So I'm going to use India. I'm going to provide, let's say, Tarni Street, and city as Meerut. I'm from Meerut basically, so that's why. State is Uttar Pradesh, and zip postal code is, let's say, 250342. Actually, this is the right zip postal code. So now I am going to rate myself. So I'm going to give 10 because I am giving the rating. So that's why. So I'm going to click on next. And in the right hand side, you can see in the debug screen. So first of all, we have the value, first name, last name, and all the component details you can see over there. And lightning email, lightning component. Then we have university lightning component. So everything you can see inside of the debug section. Now in the create record, you can see our account ID is matched with the record we selected. Our description contains like Shubham Bharadwaj, rating is 10, which is a dynamic one we created. Then email is the Salesforce Geek 2019. So that means our record is created. And this is the contact ID which I let you know that I created a contact ID variable. So you can see the contact ID variable is storing this value, which is a contact ID, right? Now you can see there is a second screen which is say like upload resume. So I'm going to upload a random file over there. Let's say I just take a screenshot from Khyati introduction. So simply I'm going to upload this, click open. So our file is uploaded successfully, and I'm clicking done. So the limitation for file upload is that you can't see the preview with the standard file upload. So if anyone want to try this scenario, I will also share the link where you can like actually see the preview. So you need to create a component to upload file, and also to make preview visible, you need to add that screen component to your flow. But this is the limitation, you can't see like or any message that whether the file you uploaded is uploaded successfully, you can't see like this. So this is the kind of limitation with the standard feature. Now I'm going to simply click on finish. So now I'm going to test it, like whether the contact is created, whether my file is related to the contact. I'm going to check it out. So I'm going to contacts in my org, and you can see, yeah, our contact is created with the name Shubham Bharadwaj, whose account name is AKTU, and email is the Salesforce Geek 2019. and I'm going to click on this account. And if I go to the related one and go to into notes and attachment, you can see there is a file uploaded over there. Let me click on it. I think my net is a little slow. So you can see there is a screenshot which I just uploaded over there. And yeah, and in the details, you can see the mailing address, which is Tarni Street, and basically whatever the value I uploaded. And in the description, you can see Shubham Bharadwaj rating is 10. And one more thing, you can see this P paragraph or closed P. So basically, these are the HTML tags, and there is a hack for these also. I'm going to let you know in the upcoming time. Means in only is this demo. So the next thing which we going to do is enhance our screen flow, because there are a lot of concepts which are remaining, which I'm going to let you know. So what I'm going to do is edit our first screen, and I want to let you know the one of the functionality of conditional visibility. So let's say I am going to provide a checkbox, because student can be from different places, right? For example, I am staying in a village a few months back, but right now I am I am at a different place. So we have different address. So home address is something different and other address is something different. So we are going to ask our student, do you have any other address? So simply you can see it's kind of a question like whether you have the other address or not. And in the default value, we are going to provide, let's say, false. So this is the default value, which is like by default, we don't have any other address. But let's say if someone have other address, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add one more address component onto my screen, type as other address. And again, you can, if you want to provide any other label, so you can provide like other address, so the label of the other address is changed. And similarly, like as we have in the home address, we have selected countries. If you want to provide like this, you can provide, but that's not the part of the game. What I'm going to let you know, that conditional visibility game, right now you can see our value is false, but what we want, that this other address only display when we select this checkbox to true, right? So what we going to do, click on the other address component, scroll down in the right hand side and go to set component visibility. Here you can see when to display component. So right now it is always, but what we want, when there is a specific condition, which is, do you want, do you have any other address equals true. Simply I'm going to click on true and click on done. So this component will only display when I select the checkbox, do you have any other address? So this is one of the very cool feature which you can use in your scenarios to develop various kind of screens. So simply click on done. Let's save your flow and let's debug. So in actual framework, we actually work like this. So like we develop something and then we are going to debug that feature. So right now I'm going to click on run, and let's say you can see right now, do you have any other address is by default false. So you cannot see the other address component. But let's say I'm going to click on this. Now you can see other address component is automatically appear on the screen. So this is kind of a cool functionality. So let's get back to the flow to see another functionality which you can add to your flow. So let's say I'm going to make my screen more prettier or more beautiful. So what I can do for that, I'm going to add display image to my header of my flow. Now, if you want to add any image, first you need to add that image to the static resource. Now let me get back to the flow setup, and I am going to let you know that I added two images over there. One is GIF and one is a image of the AKTU University. So let me type the static resource. And you can see show is basically the GIF which I'm going to use in the end of the screen, and AKTU is like the image of the university. So these are the name of the show and AKTU. So in our flow, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to provide the API name. So let's say university image, and in the image name you need to simply add the static resource name. So there is a hack whenever you are working with flows, and if you have any kind of confusion, always hover over these I buttons, right? These are the information which you can get some idea, like okay, what it is for all about. You can see after you upload the image as a static resource in your org, enter the name of the static resource. So as you can see, AKTU over my static resource AKTU, and I am simply typing the name of the AKTU field. So you can see the beautiful university image appear over your flow, right? So simply click done. And what I'm going to do is adding the same to my second screen, display image. And in the API name, let's say image, and in the image name again AKTU. So again, you can see the screen or the image will be displayed over the header of the flow. You can use according to your own creativity. This is what I found when I am in the morning trying to create a scenario for all of you guys. So you can create according to your own choices, how you want to adjust, because you can also adjust the features, like you want to provide any alt text, you want to align horizontal alignment, you want to add some CSS, height and width. So you can do a lot of things with your image, right? So I'm going to save my flow, and again I'm going to debug it, like to look how my flow looks and how I can enhance my flow further. Click run, and you can see here is the form which we are developing for our student so that they can fill. And okay, the form is kind of engaging with the conditional visibility concept, and rate yourself like this. So simply okay, but we still lagging something, like okay, some student create your provide input to the form. Now what we want, we also want to send an email and also show the user and another screen, uh, like okay, thank you for the submission or something like this, right? So for that I am going to create another flow, and then I am going to link this screen flow to that flow. So here we are going to learn the concept of subflows, like how you can use another flow along with your main flow. So subflow is kind of a like if you any of you like from developer background, so you can understand like this. When you have repetitive code in your class or something, so you can simply create a method over there which is common for all the classes. So similarly, for the same functionality, let's say you are going to create a lot of screen flows, but something is common like send email and to show the user end screen, right? So for that, what I'm going to do is simply save this flow, and I'm going to create another flow which is again a screen flow, because after sending email I need to display an image, or you can say a display message. So here I'm going to use send email action, which is by default in Salesforce flow. So simply what I did, click on this plus button and select action over there. And in the action, simply type send email. Select the send email, provide label, let's say send email and API name. Now the concept will come. Let's say you have different screen flows, and you need to use those you need to provide different dynamic values according to your flow. So for that, there is a concept of variable and available for input and available for output. I'm going to let you know what available for input and available for output actually means. So in the body, you can see if I provide anybody, let's say thank you. So this is constant. This is the constant value which is same for all the flows. But what I want is dynamic value, which I can provide to different flows to send these kind of bodies. So for that, what I can do is create a new resource, create a variable, and in API name, let's say text, let's say body of the email, and in the data type, let's say text. And now you can see available outside the flow, available for input and available for output. Now what it means, available for input, you are providing something to your flow. So you can see screen flow, the flow which we already created is our main flow, and we are sending values from that flow to our subflow. So we need to tick this available for input for this variable, because we are going to provide the dynamic body to our flow. So this is the thing. Similarly, you need to do with subject if you want to provide dynamic subject to the user. So here I'm going to create a variable and API name, let's say subject of the email, and data type as text. Again, available for input, done. And email address collection, if you want to send email to various user, let's say ample number of user, I'm not sure like what is the maximum capacity for this, but you can send to a lot of users, right? And email comma separated, basically if you want to provide, let's say 2 to 3 user and you know the email which is coming from, so you can use that email. But for this example, I'm going to use email address comma separated. For this email address, you need to provide a collection. What is collection in flows? Basically a list. So you need to include this and add the collection variable over there. But right now I'm not going to use this. I'm going to use comma separated. So simply you need to click on comma separated toggle, and you need to type new resource variable, let's say email address, and data type would be again for input, because we are providing this email address from the different flow, which is our main flow. Again, yes, we are going to use rich text formatted body, and simply we need to type true. So it is like if you are using any you say combined field, or you can say any dynamic fields in your flow, so you need to simply type this feature, otherwise you will get the HTML tags included into your body of the email. So that's why we are using global constant true. So again, click done. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a screen to show the user, okay, your form is submitted and thank you so much for filling the form. So you need to simply use display text and you need to type, let's say message. And if you, again, you want a dynamic message to be displayed over the email, over the screen. So you need to type, let's say, you need to create a new resource variable, let's say thank you message for the end screen. Or you can say simply type thank you message, because that's going to be a very big name, and data type would be text. Again, available for input, and simply click done. And this is a dynamic message. Whatever you enter into this value automatically displayed over there. And again, I'm going to use image. So let's say display image. And again, let's type API name. Let's say display image. And in image name, what you need to do is, again, we are going to provide a dynamic image. What our main flow will provide to us, we are going to use that image. So let's say I am going to use here new resource text, let's say image name, and data type would be text. Available for input, click done. We are done with our subflow and simply click done. Okay, so we need to provide the screen name. So let's say display message screen and click done. So let me also adjust the footer. So now we have recently in the previous release, I think winter 22, we have the functionality where we can provide the custom label to our buttons. So as you can see, finish, next or finish. So what I'm going to do is use a custom label, save the form. And you can see the button name is automatically changed, and I am going to remove the previous button. So let's say hide previous, hide pause, and now simply save the form. Click done, save our flow. Let's say subflow to screen flows. Sorry, this is not a name, so let's subflow to send email. And you can also provide a description. Use this subflow to send email and display thank you screen. Right? And simply save this flow and activate this flow. If you don't activate your flow, then you cannot reference this flow to another flow. So that's why I am activating it right now. Now let's move back to our main flow, which is student resume form. Now simply what I'm going to do is use this subflow, and let's say subflow. I think I need to refresh my this flow so that I can get the newly created subflow for email. Now let's again move to the last screen and select subflow over there. So again subflow, so you can see subflow to send email. Now type, let's say send email. And now here is the thing, the concept which I want to let you know. If you want to provide the dynamic body, so you simply need to click on this, and these are the variable which we provided or created as available for input. So these are the only variables which are available for input. So simply what you need to do is click on new resource. I am going to create a dynamic body to our flow. So simply click on text template, and in the API name, let's say type body. And in this, I'm going to provide a display message. Let's say hi. Name is my screen component. So let's say name, first name. Again, let's say name. I think it's kind of a bug over in flows when we need to use dynamic variables. We need to type 2 times. Last name, simply provide some space, add a comma. Hi, so whatever the name is, like hi Shubham Bharadwaj, thank you for the submission of your form, of your resume. Your application number is, let's say A B C D E F, and let's say XXXX. So this is just a normal dynamic message, and simply click done, and the body is automatically flowing from our main flow to our subflow. Similarly for the email address, so I am going to use the email address which I use in my screen component, which is email.value. So that's it. And now in the image name, so I am going to do this later. So you can see subject of the email is let's say hooray, form submitted. And if you want to provide any thank you message, you can. Thank you for the submission. Okay, and in the image name, if you want to provide any image to the second flow, which is the subflow, you need to provide the name of the image. Again, we need to first upload that image into the static resource, and then we need to here. So the second image I already have with the name show. So this is a GIF, which you can see later when we run the complete flow. Let's move to the flows, and here you need to type show and simply click done and save your flow. Completed everything, but yeah, there is one more thing which I am going to complete later, and also let you know the concept of decision element, and simply going to debug this flow. And click run. Now our flow is looking good. So let's say, like, let me type the name. Let's say Khyati. The last name Mehta. I don't know the email of Khyati, so I am simply typing my email over there. Okay, not this one. d@gmail.com. University name, let's say I'm going to select AKTU again, and I'm not going to select do you have any other address, because I need to let you know the concept of decision element. So that's why I am not testing with the do you have any other address. So simply I'm going to make it by default, which is false. I'm going to select India. Let's say provide any street. Let's say Begumpur. City is Meerut. State is Uttar Pradesh. And zip code is, let's say, 235, something like this, whatever. And I'm going to rate my rate yourself, which is 10, and again going to click on next. Now I need to provide the resume. Let's say provide any file over there. Let's say complete roadmap to learn Salesforce admin and development. Okay, so this is the resume. Just assume this is a resume. So simply wait for it to getting upload, and it is uploaded. Click done, and then click next. So now you can see, thank you for the submission, and this is the GIF which I am talking about. I am really happy. So, and I am also going to let you know the email. So I'm not sure. So now you can see, thank you for the submission, and this is the GIF which I am talking about. I am really happy. So, and I am also going to let you know the email. So I'm not sure. Khyati, please blur this part when you are going to do this thing, because there are some like personal information. But here I want to let you know the concept. So here you can see the email, hooray form submitted, which is again dynamic subject. And here you can see, hi Khyati Mehta, thank you for the submission of your resume. Your application number is something like this. Okay, which is a dynamic. Again, this can be dynamic. I'm going to give you the idea to extend this flow to a next level. So if any one of you want to try, can try it out. Just let me know if you enhance this flow. Now, one more thing which I want to let you know is our flow is working good till now, right? So, but there is one more thing. Let's say we use this. Do you have any other address, right? But we did not use it to we did not use the fields of the other address. Let's say I click on this other address, but when creating contact or when creating student record, I did not use the field. So for that, what I need to do is use a decision element in between the screen and the create student resume, right? So let's say decision. and let's say check for other address, and in the label let's say yes, the student has some other address. So in the resource what I need to provide is, do you have, so you can say, do you have any other address checkbox equals true. So if it is true, then only we are going to fill out the details of the other address fields. Otherwise it is no. So we can replace the default outcome as no and simply click done. Now you can see our flow is bifurcated into two parts, yes or no. Now you can see we have a element already for creating records. So simply I am going to copy this element and paste over there, and similar again also in this, and I'm going to delete create record element from this node. Now I will let you know why I do this, because when I have the condition, okay, I have the other address, I need to also populate other address fields, which are other city, other country, other postal code, other street, and other state. Right? So these are the 5 fields for other address. So I am going to map with the other component which we created, other address. So first is city value, and similarly for country, again for postal code, for other street, and other state. So we are done with the mapping and simply done this and save our flow. So we don't need to make changes in this one, because if we don't have the other address, this create record element is sufficient for that. Now what I need to do is click on debug, and click run. Now in the first name, let's say I'm going to provide Lakhan, which is one of my friend from the community. So let's say Meghani. And in the email, let's say Shubham Bharadwaj. SRD@gmail.com. And university name, let's say he's from Trailhead. And yes, he has the other address. So you can see when I make it false, the other address component is completely blank from the screen, and if I click over it, you can see other address is populated. So let's say I'm going to provide India, let's say let's say any street, Tarni, city, let's say Mumbai, he's from Maharashtra, and zip code, let's say 23456, whatever it is. And in other address, I'm going to provide, let's say street Maharana Pratapganj. I don't know whether this kind of place existed or not. City is, let's say, Jaipur. Now he is in Rajasthan, but he is not. So just a Rajasthan. Okay. In postal code, let's say 23456. Country India, and I'm going to rate him 10 and click next. Now I need to upload his resume, and let's say I'm going to provide an image and click done, and I'm going to click next. So you can see, thank you for the submission again. I'm really happy. So this kind of flow you can do, and let's check out whether our fields are populated correctly or not. Okay. Now move back to the contacts, and here you can see, yeah, Lakhan Meghani trailed, and the email is same. And Lakhan Meghani, if I go to the details, you can see mailing address is populated, other address is populated, right? And if I go back to the related, you can see there is a attachment which is available along with the record of Lakhan, right? So that's it with the first screen flow, and this is a quite a big flow. Now I am going to provide you an idea how you can enhance this flow to basically create a bigger level of flow, or you can say a real life scenario. Let's say you created this, you are going to provide a application number to your user, right? Now that application number is automatically generated, which is you can say a random number or whatever it is. Then your user will copy that random number, and let's say you have a community or experience website based on Salesforce. You are using that flow on the website, and there you also created a component for search, right? If you search uh, something with this application number, all the details of the user will be automatically appeared over the screen. So this is kind of a scenario you can try it on your own. So that's it for the screen flow. And let me know, Khyati, if we have some time for auto launch flow so I can continue.
Yes, you can continue.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I'm going to create one more flow for as a record triggered flow. So one of the subscriber over LinkedIn provided me the scenario. So I created that scenario for him. And the scenario is something like that. We have a campaign name with Salesforce, okay, and we have a lead. So whenever a lead status is changed from working contacted, we need to add the lead as a member of Salesforce campaign, and this thing is automatically. So we need to create a campaign member record. And while doing this scenario, I came across a error. Let's say if the member is already existed or already there in the campaign, then we need to simply notify our user. So this is the additional part which I added into the flow. So let's create that flow in our flows. So let me close my previous flows, and okay, let me go to the setup, type flows, and click on new flow. Again, it's a record triggered flow, and click create. So as I already told you, we need to do something when our lead status is changed. So we need to decide like on which object we need to create our flow. So campaign member is created when a lead status is changed. So we are doing something on lead, then something is happened. So we need to select our object as lead. And when a lead is updated, and set entry condition. So let's say I'm going to select and now I am also going to explain when to run the flow for updated record. There are two options. Every time a record is updated and meet the condition requirement, only when a record is updated to meet the condition requirement. I am going to explain you both with the help of examples, because these two conditions are very confusing among the folks, and I really want to create a video on it. And I think after this session, I'm going to shoot this video and provide it over the channel. You can check it out from also there. And so I'm going to explain with the help of example, not like manually with my words, but a code like what is happening, right? In the end condition requirement, what I'm going to provide is status equals working contacted. Now understand this thing. When my status equals to working contacted, I need to create a campaign member, right? So every time a record is updated, and I'm going to select this every time a record is updated and meets the condition requirement. And one more condition I'm going to use is status is changed, boolean true. Right? So you need to notice one thing. If I use is changed, the second condition will automatically disabled. Only you need to use every time a record is updated and now meet the condition requirement, right? And it is quite obvious, like it's a flow thumb rule that whenever you are going to create a related record, you need to select action and related record, right? So I am going to use action and related record over there and simply click done. Now, first of all, what I need is campaign. Like, what is the campaign on which I am working? So, what I need to do is get record element. Let's say campaign Salesforce, and object is campaign. Now what I need to provide is what is the name of the campaign, because I need to figure it out which campaign I am working on. So let's say name equals Salesforce. So I have a campaign with the name Salesforce, and I only need the first record and automatically store all the feeds and click done, right? So in the second condition, what I need to do is whenever my lead status changed, I need to check, okay, I have a campaign with the name of Salesforce. Then I need to add a campaign member to that campaign, right? So for that, I need to use create record. And let's say type create campaign member. And yeah, only one record I need to create, and let's say campaign member record. I need to use separate resources and literal values, and I need to select an object campaign member. So we have few fields over there. What is campaign ID? In which campaign we need to assign this member. So campaign ID we get from get record element which we just created. So you can see campaign from campaign Salesforce. We need to assign this. So simply campaign Salesforce dot ID. So we are mapping from our get record element. That's why, because we need the ID of the campaign, that's why we are using campaign. That's why we are using get record element to obtain the campaign ID. Now in the second one, we need to provide the lead ID, because campaign member can only be like a lead or either contact. So as we are working on lead, so we need to provide the lead ID. Now how you can provide lead ID? So there is a global variable which is called record global variable, which store the current record which triggers the flow. For example, this lead triggers the flow, right? So record global variable going to store the values of the lead object. So you need to simply select record dot ID. Now add one more field. If you need to provide status, let's say I'm going to provide sent, and that's it. Click done. Save your flow. Let's say campaign member creation. And you can provide description when status of lead changed to working contacted. Add the lead to the campaign, right? So description is important because you can explain the whole scenario of your flow into the description. Let's say you are working in a company and now you are going, you are switching company or whatever the reason you are leaving the company. Then you are giving KT to some other person, right? or the second person in your team going to work on that flow. So he can understand each and everything about your flow from the description. So it should be like this. I am very bad at writing description and all, but I'm just giving this advice to everyone to do that part, because it is very crucial to add the variable name in a good manner, so that the person who is not even working with you, or even coming from a different background, can easily understand, okay, what you are doing. So save and let's say activate it, because I'm going to make sure that I want to let you know something, because this flow is not ready, and I want to understand you, like, what is happening and what do we do to resolve that part, right? So let me go back to the leads. First of all, I need to create a campaign, because this is a new org. So I need to create a campaign, because I don't have any campaign right now. These are the by default campaigns which are created. So I'm going to create a new campaign with the name Salesforce. So let's say Salesforce. I'm going to create active and save. And one more thing which you can do is, in the get campaign, you can add one more condition: is active equals true, right? So it will be a good to provide any filter, like something like this. So click done, and again save as a different version, and again activate it. So now we have the campaign, right? Let me move back to the, yeah. So we have a campaign, right? But we don't have any member. Let me show you. We don't have any campaign member to it. Let me go to the duplicate this tab. Mhm. Yeah, and move back to leads. Here you can see all open leads. So there are some leads which are in open state. Let me go back to Bertha Boxer. So first of all, lead is automatically in working contacted, right? So first I need to select new not contacted and mark as current status, because I need to change from my state to working contacted. Only then my flow will add this lead to the campaign member. So what I'm going to do is select working contacted over there and mark as current status. Okay. I think some required field is missing in our flow. Campaign ID null is null. Okay, I need to check. Let me click on debug. First of all, let's deactivate our flow. Debug. Beta Boxer. Okay. I'm going to change the status from new node contacted to working contacted and click run. So here we are getting error. Here he's saying attempted to add a campaign member where either the member ID or the campaign ID null is null. Okay. I need to check whether we are getting the ID. Okay. So he's saying, like, with the name, say name equals Salesforce, we are unable to find any campaign. Okay. So he's not getting campaign. Name equals Salesforce. Is there any other condition we need to check? Let me save as. I don't think so. We have the name with campaign with Salesforce. Let me check it again. campaigns, Salesforce. We have the field, we have the campaign, and it is active. Yeah, it is active. So why it is not taking it as in get record element? Edit element name equals Salesforce, is active equals true. Let's refresh this. Again, activate it. Let's move back to the campaign. Go to details of the lead, Bertha Boxer. Going to change the working contacted and mark as current status. Again, it is saying, so anyone guys, can you please help me to sort this out if you are knowing this condition, why it is happening? Either the member ID. It is happening like null is null, but it is not null. When I debug my flow, and let's say select Bertha Boxer as lead, I'm going to change the status to working contacted and run my flow. It is saying like campaign ID is null. Okay. Let me give it a try like this. Campaign from campaign Salesforce. Like this. Let it type. No, that's not valid. So I need to use ID. Click done. In the get record event, only the first record automatically store the field. Let me change the name to, let's say, Ohana, and click done. Save as, and activate it. Let me go back to the campaign section. Create one more campaign as the name of Ohana. Active. Save. Let me go back to leads. Bertha Boxer. I am going to click on working contacted, mark as current state. So now it's working fine, but I'm not sure why it is happening with Salesforce campaign. Now it is working fine. So let's say I am going to into the campaign Ohana, and in the campaign member section, you can see one member is automatically there, right? So which is a lead, Bertha Boxer, director of vendor relation. This is automatically a campaign member record is created. I am going to again add Bertha Boxer into the same campaign. Let's say I'm going to click on mark as current status. You can see there is an error because this member is automatically inserted into the campaign, but I am reinserting this campaign member. So to handle this error, so that the process will execute it gracefully, what I need to do is go back to my flow. Yeah, and edit my flow. What I need to do is, again using a get record element, get member, get campaign member, Khyati, just give me a minute. I think someone is there on my door and I am living alone. So just give me a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
Just
no
only
worries.
only 30 seconds, right?
No worries. Okay, guys, meanwhile, we do have a lot of questions. So for the scenario, cover a few. But in case we cannot cover due to time issues, I would request you to reach out to Shubham over LinkedIn and Twitter. Let me just drop his Twitter. He'll be really happy to take all the questions. Yes, Shubham, you can continue.
Uh, Thank you so much, Kathy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am on the flow. So basically, what I am trying to do is my flow should work gracefully. Let's say if there is a member existing already, I need to make it save gracefully. So what I need to do, get campaign member, object, let's say campaign member. And here I need to type is, what I need to do is campaign member. If a campaign member is already existed into the campaign, so campaign ID equals campaign from Salesforce.id, right? And lead ID equals record.id. So by doing this, I can sure like, okay, if the member I'm trying to insert into the campaign already exist or not. If this campaign get campaign member element is null, then okay, I need to insert the lead into the campaign. If it is not null, then I need to simply notify my user with the help of email or whatever the convenient method, like either you want to notify with the custom notification, with the email, or any other way if you want. So that's why we are using these two conditions. So simply what I need to do is only the first record automatically store all feeds, click done. And now I am going to use a decision element. So check for null, campaign, let's say provide a label campaign member not exist. So let's say campaign member from get campaign member is null, boolean false. And simply click done. Default outcome will be like the case where we have the member in our flow. So simply what I'm going to do is copy down my from here to paste it here and delete from here. And if you want to provide any path, so you can like send email alert. If you want to provide an email alert, if you want to create a custom notification, you can check out the videos on the channel, on my channel, like how to send custom notification to the user and all. These videos are already there. So right now I'm not doing anything. If the member is exist into the campaign, simply it will save my flow, save my record gracefully, because I am only inserting records when I don't have the member into the campaign. So let me save this, and again activate this flow. Now if I go back to the Bertha Boxer, and right now I am new not contacted, and again click on working contacted and select as mark as current status. Okay, it is again giving me error. I need to check the condition. Campaign member from get campaign member is null, boolean false. Okay, sorry, my mistake. Is null boolean false means it is not null, it is already existed. I'm sorry, it's a silly mistake. So I'm going to type it true and click done. Save as, save, activate it, and go back to the same scenario and save it as mark as current status. So you can see my flow executed smoothly and it does not display any error, because I only save my campaign when some member existed in my campaign, and I only inserted record when the member is not in the campaign. So that's why the error does not come. So because if the scenario something like this, let's say there is a part of error we executed into the default outcome. Let me show you. Let's say if the get campaign member, this one, have some value, now it will come to the default outcome, and in the default outcome we are not doing anything. So that's why I am saying, if you want to send an email, you can send the email into the default outcome. Let's say the user you are trying to add into the campaign is already existed on the campaign, so your error will be handled gracefully, right? Now the thing which I want to let you know, the concept of uh, the concept of not this in the start element, yeah, the concept of these two. Every time a record is updated and meets the condition requirement, let's say if I remove the second condition, which is status is changed boolean true, to delete, right, and click done, save my flow, and here you can see first condition is selected when every time a record is updated meets the condition requirement. And if I activate this flow and let's say what I'm going to do is going to campaign and go to Ohana campaign, and in the Ohana campaign what I'm going to do, check all the members, and you can see Bertha Boxer is there. I'm going to delete this. Now I go back to leads and go back to Bertha Boxer. Here you can see working contacted is already selected over there. Now let's say if I go back to the details and if I provide any email address, let's say mobile number, let's say something random, and save this flow, save this record. So you can see Bertha Boxer is again automatically come to the Ohana, which is not be the part of our scenario, because we only want when something changed from, when the stage changed from uh, any stage to working contacted, only then we need to add the member to the campaign. So what the thing I am going to try to tell you, when you select the first option, which is here, the first, every time a record is updated and meets the condition requirement, right? So whenever you are going to select this option, if you change any field, if the entry criteria is matched, it's going to execute our scenario or our condition which we use in our flow. But if we select only when a record is updated to meet the condition requirement, so the actual meaning is if we are changing our record to meet the condition, right? So only when our flow should run. If I click on done, click as save as and save this flow and click on activate. And now I am going to go to the campaign so that I can delete Bertha Boxer again. So related, view all, and delete my campaign member over there. And now I am going to, yeah, I'm going to lead, and again Bertha Boxer. Right now you can see my stage is in working contacted. So if I update any other value, let's say I'm going to update the website Salesforce Geek .in and save my record. Now it should not add Bertha Boxer to the campaign member. Let me go to the campaign and go to the campaign member. You can see Bertha Boxer does not add into the campaign members. So this is the basic difference between those two conditions. So I hope this is clear to you. But as I already told you, the way I created this flow is edit. I add one more condition, status is changed boolean true. That means my flow is only going to work when I changed the stage. So this will automatically, this condition automatically fulfill the criteria, which is the second condition, which is only when a record is updated to meet the condition requirement perform is uh, fulfilled by the second condition, which is changed. So that's why the second condition, which is only when a record is updated to meet the condition requirement, is by default deselected and not available to this flow. So I hope the concept of these two or difference between these two is clear to you. And that's it from my side, Kathy. Over to you.
Have a lot of you. Let me read it out to you.
Okay.
So in lookup component, if we want the values of child object instead of parent related object, can we do that?
Mm, Sorry, can you please repeat?
If we want the values of only child object instead of parent related object, like the values from user or contact object, can we do that?
No, so source object is always like child object because lookup relationship can only be on the child object, right? So how you can do that? On parent, you don't have that field.
Okay. The next question is, does the label of the field in ScreenFlow support a custom label?
Mm, I'm sorry, but I did not get your question, Khyati. In lookup component, if you want the okay.
Yeah, the next one. Does the label of the field in ScreenFlow supports a custom label?
Does the label of the field in ScreenFlow support a custom label? Yeah, so we do this these thing in our scenario, right? Where we change the label of the in input components like home address, other address. We did ourselves.
So, do we have options like add multi? Can we create like?
Yeah, we have these options like multi-select pick list values. We have these kind of options. Let me show you. Uh, if we go to the screen flow, student resume submission form, and if I go to the screen one and click on edit, so here you can see pick list, dependent pick list, multi-select pick list, and pick list. You can provide those things. And if you want to know the concept, you can check out the channel. I already uploaded some videos over there. Like there are also some scenarios where you can select record types in terms in case of pick list. Let's say there are 5 record types, so you can create a pick list of those record types like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like this.
Right. Can we have ScreenFlow?
No, I don't think so. You need to go for like developer tools or something like, but I don't have any idea. We can do more than 3 buttons because these are the standard one, and we recently get the functionality where we can change the label of those buttons. So no, I don't think so.
To send email template with attachment?
So you need to use email alert for that. Like if you want to send a normal email, you can always select action, which is send email action. But if you want to template which the company you are working on is using for their business process, always go for email alert because email alert want you to select any existing template, right? And you can in the email template you can provide uh, your attachment. So simply you need to use email alert for that.
Okay, and can we also add attachment in that email?
Yeah, on template you can add attachment, and that template is referenced into the email alert, and then email alert referenced in the flow.
Okay. So we have many scenario based. If you can just look up,
Like
like take one
if we
for
have
now.
yeah, so if we have scenario based question, you can simply email me or join me over
Exactly.
Telegram. I have a channel over there, like with the name of Salesforce Geek Discussion. So if you guys have any kind of scenario, you can just reach out there to me. So
Yeah, I've
because scenario
already
type is quite difficult to explain here.
exactly. I've already given out your Twitter ID so that they can connect with you. Also, we do have certain questions. What is the use of schedule path on record trigger flow?
So schedule path is something like that. If you want to do specific action later, like uh, after some time or something like that. So that's the only part. I think
Okay.
Gotham is already there in our discussion group, I guess, because recently he discussed something with me. Or I think he provided me the voucher for $40, so that's why I remember his name. Yeah.
Okay. An email alert based on one condition every 15 days.
So you need to use a scheduled flow for that.
But schedule flow only have two options, daily and weekly.
Then you can't.
Okay. So thank you so much, Shubham, for such a wonderful session. Thank you for being here.
I